Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Ward here. Our science lesson for the week is called Many Animals. Now before we get started on our lesson, I want to show you some pictures of some different animals and read about them. This is a snake. It's called the eastern blue indigo snake, and it is the largest snake in North America. That's where we live. That is not venomous, and that means not poisonous. This reptile can be as long as 8.5 feet. Now that's about a little bit more than 2.5 feet longer than I am tall. Okay. This is a beaver. Beavers build dams to make the water around their homes deeper. If there are enough natural resources like water and trees in one area, beavers can live in communities that include many individual beaver families. Here's a cat. Descended from wildcats, that means they came from wildcats like tigers, cheetahs, lions. House cats were first named in ancient Egypt. That's a long way away from us. Their excellent senses of smell, hearing, and seeing help them hunt at night, and their whiskers allow them to feel their way around. Did you know that about the whiskers of a cat? That they can help them feel their way around? It's pretty cool. Okay, this is a bear. It's actually a grizzly bear. After 2 or 3 years, young grizzlies are able to live on their own. They can climb trees for safety and to get honey. Their thick fur protects them from bee stings. Can you guys hear Remy growling under the table? I think he's hungry. That's not my tummy growling. That's Remy. He's trying to tell me he wants to eat. He is a living thing, so he has to have food. I'll go feed him here in just a minute. So here's a duck. A mallard duck has short legs with webbed toes to help it swim. Next to its skin are soft, downy feathers to keep it warm in cold water. And here we have a fish. This fish is actually called a trout. Freshwater trout are found in clear streams and lakes. They are one of the most popular freshwater fish to catch and eat. Now let's go back and look at these animals. Let's talk about their coverings. Okay, let's look at our workbook page. We have a cheetah. He's covered with fur. See the label? And there's a close-up picture of what the fur of a cheetah looks like. Okay, we call it fur. It's actually hair, but animals have several layers of hair, and so we call it fur. Okay, here's a parrot. The covering of a parrot is feathers. And there's a close-up look, as if we were holding a hand lens up to the animal. Okay, and then a fish is covered in scales, and that's what the scales look like up close. Okay, so some animals are covered in fur, some are covered in feathers, and some are covered in scales. So let's decide what the coverings of these animals are that we read about just a few minutes ago. What is the covering of a snake? Would it be fur, feathers, or scales? If you said scales, you were right. So we're going to put it over here below the picture of the fish. Okay. What about a beaver? Fur, feathers, or scales? Fur, you're right. So we're going to put it over there by the cheetah. Okay. And a cat? Yes, fur. What about a grizzly? Yes, fur. And what about a trout? Fur, feathers, or scales? Yes, scales. So we'll put it over here below the picture of the fish because it is a fish. Okay, what about a duck? Is it covered with fur, feathers, or scales? If you said feathers, you're right. So let's put it there below the picture of a parrot. Okay guys, look at the picture of the parrot. Birds are the only animal with feathers. A bird's feathers help it stay dry and warm and also help it fly. Look at the picture of the fish. Lizards, snakes, turtles, and fish all have scales. Now I want you to look at your arm. Look at my arm, see if you can see my arm. What are people covered with? Can y'all see? You see the hair on my arm? People are covered in hair. Now hair and fur are similar types of body coverings. Animals may have long fur or short fur. Some animals, such as frogs and toads, do not have body coverings that grow from their skin. Let's look at the next page in our workbook. Look at the first picture, the picture of the blue jay. Read the label, blue jay. This is a bird. What color is the bird? Yes, blue. What do you notice about its head? It has a beak. That's called a beak. What kind of body covering does it have? Yes, feathers. Look at the ladybug, the next picture. See where it says ladybug? Now look at the elephant. Read the label, elephant. Each label names an animal on the page. Blue jay, ladybug, elephant. What do you guys think an elephant is covered with? He actually has hair like you and me. Look at the ladybug again. How would you describe the covering of a ladybug? The ladybug has what is called an exoskeleton, and it is made of a protein like the one that forms our hair and fingernails. Isn't that interesting? Now guys, I want you to look at the words at the bottom of the page. Where do we start reading? Can you point and show me where we should start reading? You're right. We need to start at the top and on the very left side where we'll find the first word. Now I want you to follow along as I read. It says animals have different shapes and sizes. Some animals have bright colors. What are some ways that these animals are different? If you said they are different sizes, different colors, and different shapes, you're right. What happens when we come to the last word in a line? Do you guys know what to do when I get to that word right there? What did I do just a minute ago? I went down and over. I went back to the left side. Very good. Boys and girls, let's read the directions at the bottom of our page. They want us to circle the blue animal on this page. Which one is blue? The blue jay, the ladybug, or the elephant? Yes, the blue jay. Circle the blue jay. It says draw an X on the animal that has a trunk. Which one has a trunk? The blue jay, the ladybug, or the elephant? You're right. The elephant has a trunk. Can you point to the body part of an elephant that is called a trunk? Very good. You're right. This is the trunk of the elephant. Good job. Okay, guys, let's look at the next page in our workbook. Do you remember what it means to compare? When you're comparing, you're looking for ways that things are alike and different. So look at the animals on this page. How are the animals on this page and the previous page, which means the page before it, the one we just looked at a few minutes ago, how are they alike? Look carefully. Did you say they all have a head? Okay, what about, do they all have eyes? Yes. Do they all have legs? Yes. So they're alike in many ways. How are they different? Look at the spider. How many legs does it have? Count them. Yes, 8. Now look at the koala. Does the koala have 8 legs? No, he only has 4. So the number of legs is different. The koala has 4. How many does the blue jay have? Just 2. Look at the head of the elephant. How would you describe the head of an elephant? Big or small? Yes, big. And what about the head of a frog? Small, yes. Good job, guys. Now I want you to look at this page. Can you put your finger where I am supposed to start reading on this page? Where do I start reading? Okay, you're right. We're going to start reading right there, the very first word. Okay, follow along with me as I read. It says, many animals have a head and eyes. Some animals have 2 legs. Some animals have many legs. Do you guys remember what that punctuation mark is called? Yes, it's a period. It tells us that's the end of that sentence. Now go back to the first sentence. Do you see the word animals? Put your finger on it. Now look at the next sentence. Can you find the word animals and put your finger on it? What about the last sentence? Yep, There it is. How many times do you see that word? Count. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now, do you guys remember which body parts are named in these sentences? Let's read them again. Many animals have a head and eyes. Some animals have 2 legs. Some animals have many legs. Which words name body parts? Head. What else? Eyes. Head, eyes. What about the last one? Legs. Very good. Now this is what they want us to do. They want us to circle the animal that has 8 legs. Which one has 8 legs? The koala, the spider, or the frog? Yes, the spider. Circle the spider. Now in the workspace where it says draw, they want you to draw the head and eyes of an animal. Now you can choose any animal that you would like. Your favorite animal, or think of one that's easy to draw. I would probably draw a koala because you guys know that's my favorite animal. But you choose your own. Again, draw the head and the eyes of an animal in the draw space. Let's look at the next page. Look at the animals on this page. We have a fish, a lamb, a snake, and a rabbit. Look at the picture of the fish. How does a fish move? It swims. What are some other animals that swim? If you said whales, dolphins, stingrays, eels, those are all examples of other animals that swim. Okay, how does a lamb move? You can read the label, walk and run. Yes, a lamb walks, it runs. Can you think of some other animals that walk and run? What about Remy? Yeah, dogs walk and run. What about cats? Cats walk and run. Horses, cows. Those are examples of animals that walk and run. Horses, goats, mules. Okay, look at the snake. How does a snake move? Read the label. Crawl. A snake crawls. Can you think of any other animals that crawl? Maybe a turtle. Okay, look at the rabbit. How does a rabbit move? What does that label say? Hop. What word? Yes, hop. Can you think of other animals that hop? How about a kangaroo? Kangaroos hop. Look at the words at the bottom. Look at the first word. Remember, I began reading with the first word, and that's the word animals again. We've seen that word a lot in this lesson. Animals move in different ways. How do we move? Can we swim like a fish? Walk and run like a lamb? Can we crawl like a snake and hop like a rabbit? We sure can. We can do all of those things. And what they want us to do on this page is look at the animals. We have to circle the animal that crawls. Which animal crawls? Yes, the snake. Can you think of another word that might mean the same thing as crawl? What about slither? A snake slithers. Now draw a line under the animal that hops. Which one hops? Yes, a rabbit. Read the label. Hop, hop. A rabbit hops. Can you think of another word that means about the same thing as hop? Yeah, jump. Very good. Make sure you draw a line below the picture of the rabbit. I wanted to show you guys some pretty special pictures. So the other day was Eli's birthday, and I drove by his house to yell and wave and show him a sign that I had made for him for his birthday, and he has some animals, and they are awesome. So he has a turkey. Isn't that a beautiful turkey? What is a turkey covered with? It has feathers.
They sat in.
Oh, he's so pretty. And he has a pig. What is a pig covered with? Yes, hair. Look at that rooster. Isn't he beautiful? Look at him. A rooster is covered in feathers. So these are Eli's animals. There's this pig. He has a duck. Look at that duck. A duck is covered in feathers. And then there's this turkey again. Oh, those are my flowers. There's this turkey. So Eli, you have very awesome animals. Thanks for letting me take pictures of them for our science lesson. Okay, let's look at the next page in our workbook. Look at the picture of this animal. What is that? Yes, a butterfly. What part of the body does the butterfly use to fly? Yes, it's wings. What other animals have wings? Yeah, birds. What body part helps birds and butterflies walk? Yes, their legs. People also move from place to place. We walk, we run, we jump, we hop, we swim, we skip. We move in all kinds of ways. Okay guys, let's read the words at the bottom of the last page of our workbook. It says, which animal hops? Which animal swims? Which animal walks and runs? I want you to look at that punctuation mark at the end of each of those sentences. Do you guys remember what that is called? Yes, a question mark. That means those sentences are questions. So let's go back and answer these questions. Which animal hops? Yes, the rabbit. Which animal swims? Yes, the fish. And which animal walks and runs? Yes, the lamb. Good job. Now I've got some pictures I want you to look at real quick, and I want you to tell me how they move. Okay, this is a fish. How does a fish move? Yes, it swims. A fish swims. Okay, and a snake. How do we say a snake moves? It crawls or slithers. Okay, what about a beaver? A beaver swims. A cat. How does a cat move? In many ways, it can run, it can walk, it can hop or jump, it climbs. What about a bear? A bear walks, it runs. I think bears can climb. Oh, what is that? That's a dog. That looks very much like Remy. How does a dog move? In lots of ways. It runs, it walks, it can jump. Sometimes they crawl. I know Remy will crawl on his belly sometimes when he's trying to be cute. And then what is this one? Oh, I hear Remy again. He's still begging to eat. That's a duck. How does a duck move? Yeah, they swim, they walk, they kind of waddle. They move back and forth when they're walking. Can you waddle like a duck? And then we have a fish. It swims like that first picture we looked at. Fish swim. Very good, guys. Okay, now in our workspace on that last page where it says draw, they want you to draw an animal, another animal besides the butterfly that has wings. So you could draw a bird. You could draw, let's see, maybe an insect like a ladybug that has wings. Think of an animal other than a butterfly that has wings and draw a picture of it. Okay guys, Remy's been fed, so he's happy now. So let's go ahead and finish. Here's an activity that I thought would be fun for you to do with your mom or dad. We are going to sort these animals by their animal covering. Some are covered in fur, some are covered in scales, and some are covered in feathers. Okay, so look at this chart. We have the words fur, scales, and feathers. So again, look at these pictures and you decide under which label do these animals belong. And I'll be back in just a minute to see if you were correct.